5 different values from 5 different mints including a rare denomination. Stay tuned. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 3, and thank you for joining me. In this video, we will cover some of the silver denominations of Alexander the Great coinage I have. Some common, some on the rarer side. We will start off with the largest, the Tetradrachm. I have a few of these which I will show in a later video, but for this episode, I have chosen this one. I hope you enjoy the video and learn something new. Alexander's most common silver denomination is a tetradrachm. It is also the most sought after, a large, beautiful silver weighing in at 17.2 grams. This particular denomination was not used in daily commerce. This had buying power. One of these would roughly be worth a week's wage. They were typically used to pay soldiers of Alexander and other mercenaries. This particular variant has a Martin J. Price reference number of 2949. This is a late lifetime issue struck between 325 and 323 BC. This type was struck in the Mint of Side, modern-day Turkey. The obverse features the head of Heracles, son of Zeus and Alcmene. Heracles is wearing a Nemean lion skin headdress. The style of the engravers from the Mint of Side are excellent and have great eye appeal. The variants from this mint are not very common. I found this coin at my local coin shop at a fantastic price. Now let's take a look at the reverse of the coin, which in my opinion outshines the obverse. The reverse of this coin features Zeus, seated on a throne with his legs uncrossed, holding an eagle in his right hand and a scepter in his left. To the right of Zeus, you will see the name Alexander in Greek. In exurg, or the lowest part of the coin, it reads Basileus, or king in Greek. Together it may read, of King Alexander. Right above Basileus, you will see a triangle and an eye. To the left of Zeus in the left field, there is a wreath. What makes this particular variety special is that this coin was struck during the lifetime of Alexander the Great with the Basileus title. On most of the Alexander's coinage, the title of Basileus was not added to his coins until after his death. It would have been taboo to put the king title on your coins while still alive. When I acquired this coin, it was my first lifetime coin of Alexander, and because of the variety and style, I did very well. That should about cover the Tetradrachm. Let's move on to the next silver denomination. The second most common denomination was this one, the silver drachm. It was about the size of a dime. 4 of these would equal 1 tetradrachm. This fraction was minted mostly in Asia Minor, or at least close to 95% of them. Fewer cities minted Alexander drachms than tetradrachms. Drachms were minted in 11 cities during Alexander's lifetime. Only about 13% of this denomination was minted in Alexander's lifetime. Most are posthumous. This particular coin weighs in at 4.2 grams and is about 16.8 millimeter in diameter. This type has a Martin J. Price reference of 1356. This is a lifetime drachm, minted between 328 and 323 BC. This coin was minted in Lampsacus, a Greek city located on the eastern side of the Hellespont. This is also now modern-day Turkey. The obverse with Heracles remains the same as with the tetradrachm. Same with the reverse. Aside from the different mint marks and monograms, it is very similar. It is also missing the Basileos, or king title, which is generally typical of lifetime issues, with the previous coin being an exception as discussed. A different monogram is shown below the throne, consisting of a triangle, a T, and an O. To the left field is Demeter, goddess of harvest, agriculture, fertility, and the earth. She is holding 2 torches. I purchased this coin in 2021 from a known dealer, and this is my second lifetime Alexander the Great drachm in my collection. Let's see how this drachm compares to the previous tetradrachm, both in size and style difference the 2 mints struck. As you can see, stylistically, they are very different. The size and weight are also a significant difference. The detail generally on a larger canvas would have been easier for the engravers to work with. Each die maker would also vary in skill and style. And as you can see by the reverse, the significant amount of detail possible on a large tetradrachm when comparing the smaller drachm is very noticeable. While common, the drachms of Alexander are a great entry coin for a beginner collector seeking his coinage. It is a respectable silver in both size and weight. Let's move on to the next denomination, a rare one, not always available, and difficult to acquire in good condition. If you are still watching, thank you. If you find any value in my videos or learn something new, I will appreciate your support. This next silver denomination is very scarce, the DiDrachm. This fraction was about half the weight of a tetradrachm, and 2 drachms would have the value of this coin. There was only a handful of mints striking this denomination, and they were not a common fraction. Majority of the examples are lifetime coins, but there are a few varieties minted after Alexander's death. Due to the rough surface and corrosion, this coin weighs 7.52 grams. The size is 19 millimeter in diameter. Unfortunately, because of condition, I cannot make out any monograms or mint marks. However, due to the style of Heracles on the obverse, I am confident it was minted in Amphipolis, an important Greek city located strategically along the Strymon River. The mint of Amphipolis is the most prolific of all Alexander mints. This is also likely a lifetime coin, but can't say for certainty. As with the previous 2 coins, the obverse has the same design, just stylistically different, and if you study Alexander's coinage, this style is very Amphipolis-like. Looking at the reverse, aside from Zeus, not much else is able to be identified. While not the greatest example of this rare denomination, I am happy to have it. I won this coin recently at a CNG auction, after chasing one for over a year. Previously, this coin was also sold at the now extinct Roman Numismatics. Let's compare the size to the previous 2 denominations and how they look next to this DiDrachm. Here's the DiDrachm. Alongside the drachm, you won't feel the weight difference watching this video, but you can see the size and style comparison. Even the reverse style of Zeus is different from an artistic standpoint. And here is the Tetradrachm for comparison. Let's start with the obverse. Of course, the size is noticeable, but what really stands out is the style of the engravers between the 2 mints. And the reverse also shows different aspects stylistically. So I think this will just about do it for the DiDrachm. And if you have any questions or comments so far, please make sure you post them. I will be happy to have a discussion. Let's move on to the next silver denomination of Alexander's coinage. This next silver denomination is not very common, but also not hard to obtain. This is the Hemidrachm. One of these was valued at about a half a drachm, so if you had 2 of these, they were both equivalent to a drachm. The British Museum's examples are from 8 different cities, and all of the cities were from Asia. This particular example weighs 1.88 grams and is about 13 millimeters in diameter. The mint that struck this coin is located on an island in Syria, in the city of Arados. The Martin J. Price reference is 3318. The type is dated somewhere between 328–320 BC. This is considered a possible lifetime coin. The obverse of the coin again features Heracles, but the style the Arados mint is clearly different from the other coins. It also seems like the expression of Heracles is a very confident smirk, doesn't it? Let's flip it over and have a look at the obverse. Aside from the typical Zeus seated on a throne and Alexander's name in the right field, this coin also has the king title of Basileos. Below the throne is a formation of symbols which consists of A and P, typical to representing the mint of Arados. In the left field, although hard to see or make out, is a sigma, which, if that is correct, it is the 18th letter of the Greek alphabet. Along with the purchase of this coin came an old dealer's tag, which I have not spent much time into identifying where it came from, but interesting in its own regard. So let's measure up this Hemidrachm to the previous denominations. Notice the style differences between all of them. First, the Tetradrachm, both obverse and reverse. If you were to take condition out of the picture as you compare these, which style do you like best? Or just which coin overall is your favorite? Now the DiDrachm, clear differences in stylistic design between Arados and Amphipolis mints. and the dram, which is the closest in size but might be the most different artistically. So that was the Hemidrachm. Now we will take a look at the final denomination I have to show you, and it is by far the smallest of all of Alexander's coinage, not just the silver. Let's take a look at the silver obol. This is the silver obol, the smallest and lightest, and you really should keep a coin like this in a flip holder or risk losing it. This fraction, again, was only found in cities in Asia, around 6 different cities. Due to its size, this particular example is 9 millimeters in diameter and only weighs a half a gram. This denomination is not very common, but like the Hemidrachm, it is available but rarer in exceptional condition or style. 3 obols like this would be equivalent to 1 Hemidrachm. This coin has a Martin J. Price reference of 3424. Some of you may be able to recognize the mint style as well. This coin was struck in the mint of Byblos, an ancient seaport city located on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. This is now modern-day Lebanon. The dating of this type is somewhere between 330 and 320 BC. This is likely a lifetime issue. The reverse is struck off-center, so you cannot make out Alexander's name. This type, however, does not contain the Basileos title, nor does it have a monogram underneath the throne. It does, however, have a symbol featuring A and P in the left field that is normal for this mint. Despite the size, I would say the detail is excellent and impressive. How were the engravers able to carve such a small die with so much detail? Let's compare 2 coins, the Hemidrachm first. Style difference is obvious between these two, and the obol looks tiny, next to an already tiny Hemidrachm. Probably the best comparison and most impactful on the eye is the Tetradrachm. Let's take a look. A world of difference, both in style and size. The obol is a great denomination if you collect Alexander's coinage, but nothing will beat the feel, size, and weight of a Tetradrachm in your hand. That will about wrap it up for episode 3. Thanks for tuning in, and if you stayed this long, I hope it was worth it. Do you have any Alexanders in your collection? Or perhaps you collect a whole different area of coinage? I'd love to hear about it. Till next time, and I hope to see you in episode 4.